Welcome to the Thought for the Day for Thursday, the 8th of December. The reading is from Isaiah chapter 48, verses 1 to 11. Listen to this, you descendants of Jacob, you who are called by the name of Israel and come from the line of Judah, you who take oaths in the name of the Lord and invoke the God of Israel, but not in truth or righteousness. You who call yourselves citizens of the holy city and claim to rely on the God of Israel, the Lord Almighty is his name. I foretold the former things long ago. My mouth announced them, and I made them known. Then suddenly I acted, and they came to pass. For I knew how stubborn you were. Your neck muscles were iron, your forehead was bronze. Therefore I told you these things long ago. Before they happened, I announced them to you so that you couldn't say, my images brought them about, my wooden image and my metal god ordained them. You have heard these things. Look at them all. Will you not admit them? From now on, I will tell you of new things, of hidden things unknown to you. They are created now, not long ago. You have not heard them before today, so you cannot say, yes, I knew of them. You have neither heard nor understood. From of old your ears have not been open. Well do I know how treacherous you are. You were called a rebel from birth. For my own name's sake I delay my wrath. For the sake of my praise I hold it back from you, so as not to destroy you completely. See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. For my own sake, I do this. How can I let myself be defamed? I will not yield my glory to another. This is truly scary, God. He's giving a real telling off, a warning and a reminder. Before returning to their homeland, the people are reminded of the sins that led the nation into captivity. Their chief failing was that they honoured God with their words, but not with their conduct. God might be talking to Israel here, but all this applies to all of us. We too have seen what he's done, and yet we're still stiff-necked. He's criticising us for our hypocrisy and idolatry, that we talk the talk, but don't always walk the walk. He's making it clear that he knows exactly what we're like, and he's not happy with us. We're often told that God knew us before we were born, and he knows we'll do wrong before we do it. But in this passage, we hear how God feels about that. He's angry and exasperated. What more does he have to do? But he's putting his wrath to one side, not for our sake, but for his name's sake. He's the one with the power and the plan. It's not about us. It's about God. In the verse after this passage, he goes on to say, I am he, I am the first and I am the last, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and he will not let this go. I think it's something that's too easy for us to forget when we're dealing with the ups and downs of life, that God has a plan and he's in control. When things are going well, do we remember to thank and praise God? If they always went well, how arrogant and self-reliant would we be? On the other hand, when we're having to deal with grief, health problems, money or family worries, what then? Many people start to complain and get angry with God. We all want someone to blame. Often we hear people say, how can there be a God if he allows this to happen? And it can feel like you're being punished or abandoned. Even Jesus experienced this on the cross when he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? Showing us it's okay to feel like this. But he turned to God and said, yet not my will, but yours be done. Turning to God to seek his will in the situation, it's not always easy. But in this passage, it's made clear that the painful heat of the furnace of affliction that we feel is a refining process, removing impurities and imperfections, repeated over and over like a precious metal. to be transformed and for us to become more like Jesus. It can be a challenge when we start to question whether our suffering has been brought about by our own stubborn disobedience. With my own health problems, I've learnt a lot. To see it as the gift of a debilitating condition, forcing acceptance, patience, a change in my priorities and my perspective. And to thank God for his plan, remembering that it is to further his purpose. But I know it's not easy. So today I pray that you will seek God's will while in the furnace, that God will give you his peace during times of affliction, and that you will feel refined, growing to be more like Jesus every day. I hope you have a great day.